Today we saw Marvel's Thor Ragnarok. Connor, what is the plot of Marvel's Thor Ragnarok?
Thor Ragnarok once again follows Thor, Odin's son. As basically he finds out his brother has exiled Odin to Earth and taken his place. And then him and Loki go looking for Odin. They find Odin. Odin dies. And then when Odin dies, it unleashes Hela, who is their long-lost evil sister. Also a dank meme. Hela is very powerful and destroyed Thor's hammer. And then Thor and Loki chase her through the Bifrost and attempt to stop her from ruling Asgard, but unfortunately they are knocked off course and land on Space India, also known as Sakaar, where Thor is forced to fight in a gladiator match against Hulk, and eventually, after a little bit of doing, Hulk and Thor team up with Valkyrie to basically end up going back to Asgard to save Asgard. Loki teams back up. A couple of people they met on Sakaar team up with them, and they all go to Asgard and attempt to save it. They're forced to summon the Ragnarok to stop Hela and destroy Asgard, but then they all escape, and it's a real hoot. So Aidan, what is your thoughts on Thor Ragnarok?
It's okay. You know, I'm tired of Marvel movies. I'm tired of superhero movies. It's a lot further from the other Thor movies, which is a good thing because the other Thor movies fucking suck. It's a lot like Guardians of the Galaxy in a lot of ways. You know, the editing is, for the most part, you know, Marvel makes movies fairly competently. The pacing is all sorts of fucked in this movie, where things happen really fast. Like, he's at the Ragnarok, he kills Ragnarok, and then all of a sudden, pretty much like 5 minutes later, Asgard's taken over, and they just like zip around. Like, the pacing is a little bit much. The story wasn't focused enough, I think, and that's what made the pacing bad, because they had to fit all this stuff in. They could have cut out the entire Doctor Strange part, and they could have just...
Yeah, I forgot about that.
It had to be a little bit slower. You know, action was fine. I mean, the humor was what you'd expect. There's a couple funny moments, and I guess someone who's not a cynical piece of garbage like me would probably find it a lot funnier, but you know, the CGI was okay, Hulk looks okay, Hela, whatever the fuck, was an okay villain. I guess I liked that her goal was very clear and straightforward, but she didn't really have a character. Hulk kind of felt forced in on this movie, and I know that it's because Marvel wanted to cheap out and not pay Universal to make a Planet Hulk movie, so they just kind of fused this movie and a Planet Hulk movie together, and Hulk is pretty much just like a side character, where a lot of the times he's just not important, he's just kind of there. Mark Ruffalo just mentioned in an interview today that essentially if you cut together this part in Thor Ragnarok for Hulk, like the Hulk shit from this movie, and then the shit from Avengers 3 and Avengers 4 that's Hulk, it kind of is supposed to make like an arc for Hulk that almost works as its own separate movie. That's what he claims. I guess.
I don't know if it would actually work. Like, I don't know what the story arc is. I'm assuming it's like him and Black Widow probably fall in love by the end of Avengers 4, then
Irregardless,
whatever. Just random thought.
I like seeing Jeff Goldblum, but he's kind of the villain for a while, and then he just kind of stops being in the movie. Ragnarok felt kind of forced, where He appears at the start of the movie, he dies, and then he appears at the end of the movie and destroys Asgard. Destroying Asgard was I don't know why they did that. I liked that Thor lost the eye though, because at least it kind of almost felt like there was some kind of stake in the
They
movie.
killed the Warriors 3. Spoiler alert.
And overall, it was a Marvel movie. It was okay. I don't really have an urge to watch it again. I didn't dislike it. I liked it enough. Just I'm tired of the genre. Connor, talk about Thor for a bit.
Thor felt more like a Guardians of the Galaxy movie than the Thor movies. It's far and away the best Thor movie. That said, it's an okay movie. The humor was funny at times. It ranged from pretty funny to very cringy, depending on the joke. The action was very cool, and the pacing was kind of nice in the action sense, where there was a lot of action, but the story still went on. That said, I think the stuff on Sakaar was kind of stupid, and I get that it's like apparently Hulk is supposed to have like an arc between the Avenger 3 and 4 movie where I guess it's paid off or something, but honestly, thinking of it, I think this movie would have been better without Hulk. If it was a story where he fights against Hela exclusively, and then you have the problem where it's just another Thor movie, and obviously the Thor movies weren't working. Then you just have another Thor movie. If you just do the Sakaar stuff, then it would just be a Planet Hulk movie. Unfortunately, Marvel didn't want to pay the money for a Planet Hulk movie, but this would have been better as two separate movies. Hulk felt shoehorned, and maybe it'll pay off in Avengers 3 and 4, apparently, but who knows. So there was definitely that problem there, where at most points in this movie, like, the Sakaar stuff was really stretched out, and it was a lot, and it was cool, then it was really boring, and there was like 45 minutes in this movie that were just boring. And I feel like you could have just cut the Sakaar stuff down significantly and made this a better movie. This movie also had a problem, the old Transformers movie problem, where they just killed off all the old characters and didn't include Natalie Portman and shit because they couldn't figure out how to write her in, basically. So they're like, you broke up with her. Okay. So now the first two Thor movies are literally pointless because the Warriors 3 died. I mean, Thor kind of has an arc, I guess, but the Warriors 3 died, and Natalie Portman's gone, so the only real characters are Loki and Thor that continue over. There's also, honestly, like, Loki also should not have been in this movie. He was fucking pointless, like, maybe for a few minutes, but for the most part, his shit was kind of pointless. Like, he betrayed Thor again, and I know they kind of made that into a meme. So it was weird. I mean, it was funnier. They tried to kind of Guardians of the Galaxy it. You could tell Marvel went a different direction because the Thor movies clearly weren't working. This movie kind of worked, but it also kind of didn't. Like, he's the king of Asgard, and I'm assuming them going into space kind of is going to lead into Avengers 4. But it's like, it was alright. The plot was what it was. I don't know, it was just boring. It doesn't seem like something I want to return to. It's kind of the same thing, the same problem I had with, like, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, where it was cool, it was a decent movie, but it was like, oh, then I turned it off and I never really cared to return to it again. CGI was kind of mixed results on that. I thought the final confrontation was kind of cool, but it's kind of also stupid that they just summoned Ragnarok and destroyed Asgard like it was a twist and it was to kill Hela. I get that, but it was like, okay, so they didn't really defeat Hela. They just used a villain, 9/11's Asgard, and then flew into space. Like, I don't know. I don't know if they were trying to give like an Empire Strikes Back vibe because spaceship at the end, but it's like, I don't know. That's what I think about this movie. I don't know. It was okay. So, Aiden, would you recommend Thor Ragnarok?
I guess. People are gonna like it. I kind of liked it. People who like superhero movies still are gonna like it. I'm tired of it, but it wasn't like bad. Well, I would not recommend it. I just also don't really care enough to recommend it. So, Connor, would you recommend Thor Ragnarok?
I mean, kind of expanding what Aiden said about the superhero genre. I don't think the superhero genre itself is bad. I think what happened was people started getting tired of the serious superhero movies. Let's just look at this exclusively in the Marvel eras. You have Phase 1, which takes itself fairly seriously with the first two Iron Men, Captain America, Thor, and Avengers. But Avengers started to meme it up a little bit, so they're like, we'll make some memes in there. And then, but for the most part, we'll make it serious. And then Guardians of the Galaxy came along, and now all the movies have the Guardians of the Galaxy tone. Like, yeah, Thor can be a funny character, don't get me wrong, but I think every character being funny was kind of a misguided step. Like, Thor should be funny because he's clueless, but now he's not on Earth, so everyone's kind of like that. Just kind of got annoying, and Hulk was pointless. But basically what I'm trying to say is they changed the genre from the superhero genre we had 10 years ago and the superhero genre we had 2 years ago. And now we have this thing where every movie's a comedy. And I can see where to an extent it works with Guardians of the Galaxy and Thor as a character, or maybe Robert Downey Jr. is also funny, but it's just played out when every movie has the same tone. And Marvel pretends to take risks, but then just plays it safe with every movie. Like, I really hope Infinity War tries to go somewhere else, maybe brings the genre a little darker, at least the Marvel side of the genre, obviously not like DC dark where it's just edgy, but make it like maybe a little more serious again, because this genre is played out after just a few films. So yeah, Thor Ragnarok, I guess I'd recommend it. People are gonna love it because it's a Guardians of the Galaxy starring Thor. This movie's a fucking Guardians of the Galaxy clone.